This is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own?
Detain it, not the...
So civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, we'll see what happens if the DA looks and investigates.
According to reports, Beyonce, the woman who has dominated pop culture for 20 years, is having a private breakdown. According to insiders, she is inconsolable, upset, and sobbing publicly following a few people in the sector. Ever imagine that a surprising courtroom decision might be made? According to reports, Sad Wade, who has insisted that Jay-Z is his father for years, has accomplished the unimaginable. In a family court that gives him half of Jay-Z's wealth. Half, it was an astounding partition of the empire. Not only a symbolic share, carte terre, Sean spanning entertainment, sports, fashion, and music. And because Beyonce's personal enterprises account for a large portion of that wealth. The verdict concerns her as well as him, financial realm as well. The golden couple of American music, the Carters, are suddenly in danger of collapsing.
Felonies, I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything, so I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
To take a moment to picture the scene. After meticulously cultivating the image of unwavering power and resilience, Beyonce now feels ensnared in the aftermath of her husband's history. She had put up with rumors of treachery for years, from the elevator brawl that became a legend, to public admissions of infidelity. However, this is not the same. We are not referring to covert text messages or rumors of flings. This is a strong legal decision. The collapse of a gamble, decades of carefully managed money may now belong to someone else. Beyonce never requested a place in her life. She is described as broken and deceived by sources, understanding that everything she battled could be destroyed by Jay-Z's hidden past, because
he took them to some apartment building, and they did what they did in there, talked a little bit, had a good time, party, and I guess I can't fully talk as my mom because I'm not my mom. I'm just telling you guys what she told me. And I honestly just believe her. It's just no.
The David versus Goliath plotline unfolding in front of our eyes just heightens the shock. Once written off as a clout chaser, Rymir was a young man from New Jersey who lacked the legal hoards and business clout that Jay-Z has somehow prevailed. Wanda, his late mother, insisted that she had a relationship with Jay-Z in the early 1990s and spent years pleading with the courts to request a paternity test. Those efforts were dismissed on technical grounds, buried in sealed records, or ignored. However, Rymir is now positioned as the winner, taking home not only notoriety, but also potentially billions of dollars in financial gains. Dollar Dynasty. It would rank among the most humiliating losses Jay-Z has ever had, if this is accurate. It raises the question of how this legal struggle went so wrong for him. Rymir's activities have long been depicted by Jay-Z's attorneys as a decades-long campaign of harassment, portraying him as a man who is fixated on pursuing celebrity through legal action. However, from this family court's perspective, that story didn't stick. Rather, the tale of a son who was denied his father's recognition was more powerful than the well-prepared arguments of a famous business magnate. And even though Jay-Z's group maintains that they will battle back, the decision is currently in effect. It is astounding how much 50% of his fortune is worth. And it instantly spreads beyond Jay-Z's own wealth into the he and Beyonce created, an empire.
Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
The situation becomes even more volatile at that point. Beyonce's wealth and her husband's are not totally distinct. The Carters have combined over time. Companies jointly owned real estate, worked together on musical and touring endeavors, and portrayed themselves as an unstoppable force. That brand is bleeding right now. Beyonce's financial world is pulled into the maelstrom if Jay-Z's assets are reduced. if accounts are taken, or if holdings are sold. This explains why rumors are becoming more widespread. Beyonce might be getting ready to split from him. Insiders shut down according to the family. She is speaking with her legal counsel and looking for methods to divide her personal wealth. Her Parkwood Entertainment Company and her Ivy Park fashion business, before the court's reach, extends to her own accounts. To be honest, if she wants to rescue herself, she could be forced to cut Jay-Z loose.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both.
Naturally. That brings up yet another harsh query. Is Beyonce even interested in staying? There is more to this decision than money. Has brought back memories of Jay-Z's past and the darkness he refused to let light into. The fact that Rymir is not the first to assert a blood connection to him cannot be disregarded. Letitia Messer, lady who came forward years ago and claimed to be Jay-Z's daughter, was supported by relatives who said they saw the relationship. That gave birth to her. I know this story from start to finish. One of her relatives wrote on the internet, adding, "I hooked your mother and father up years ago." There were even claims that Jay-Z had purchased a house in Maryland for her in secret and prevented her from showing pictures of him, paying her bills in return for silence. Rymir's victory could be the start of a catastrophic event if those rumors are true. Cascade, consider the stakes. What happens when other claimants realize that one claimant has succeeded in bringing Jay-Z to his knees and decide to try their hand at it? Would Myrrh be able to file her own case to get credit or money? Would other names surface from his history? During a time when reputations, it's not implausible that additional alleged children will come to light as judicial procedures against celebrities move surprisingly quickly and disintegrate in a matter of days. And Beyonce's nightmare gets worse with each new allegation. This is the lady who has established herself as a brand as strong as Nike or Apple. However, is now sobbing over though her marriage is becoming more and more strained.
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You gotta imagine, the feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your whooped.
In there. Is frenetic damage control going on behind the scenes? Rymir's victory is only transitory, according to Jay-Z's circle. And that higher courts will reverse it and the empire is safe. However, rumors circulate about accountants and meetings behind closed doors, business partners suddenly becoming anxious about joint endeavors and rushing. Nobody wants to be associated with a dynasty that is in decline. Keep in mind that this is more than just music. Jay-Z is involved with luxury, streaming services, and sports management. Brands, as well as nationwide real estate interests, should ownership of such assets change. The impact whole industries will be shaken by the effect.
I don't give no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
Then there is Beyonce, who was once the epitome of unity and is reportedly preparing to leave. Can anyone blame her? She has previously supported Jay-Z through controversies, including his outspoken admissions of infidelity. However, this is not a personal issue. This courtroom headline was widely circulated by tabloids around the world. One that portrays her husband as having children that are hidden or oppressed previous connections. Now, everyone will be observing, evaluating, and analyzing every move she makes. Critics will claim that she abandoned him during a crisis if she files for divorce. If she stays, they would claim that she gave up her wealth and her honor to defend a dishonest man. This fire is being fueled by rumors of additional covert payouts. Veteran members of the industry have long speculated that Jay-Z's wealth has covertly sponsored settlements to avoid possible scandals. If accurate, those settlements may now be revealed via the course of discovery procedures, bringing identities and tales to the general public's attention. Consider the consequences of not a number of people came forward, each adamant that they were related to him. It is the subject of scandals that end dynasties and turn famous people into cautionary tales.
I remember thinking, I can't be mad at her because that is what the media portrays.
We are left looking at a marriage that was once hailed as the epitome of perfection for a power couple, but is now being attacked by forces that none of them can completely control. And the lingering question is nearly intolerable. To what extent was Beyonce aware? How long has she been getting ready for this? She portrayed Jay-Z as her professional and personal partner for years. Was there, however, a secret knowledge that these ghosts of his past may eventually come to the surface? Or is she only now recognizing the true fragility of her meticulously constructed empire?
Beyonce for sure. I love her. I love Beyonce. Jay-Z too, I really admire the both of them.
People are unaware of how delicate the intricate network of the Carter fortune is. The jewel in Jassi's crown, ROC Nation, is subject to management agreements, publishing rights, as well as international tour agreements that mainly depend on Beyonce's popularity. Ivy Park was originally a bright after, splitting from Adidas. The fashion venture is already reportedly having financial difficulties. Actual jointly held are real estate holdings in the Hamptons, New York, and Bel Air. Even the money they invest in tech firms, art, and streaming endeavors coexist. Should Rymir's decision stand, dividing assets evenly, the court proceedings may reveal the whole Carter monetary chart, we must question whether Beyonce has already hired attorneys to high alert, creating lines of combat to safeguard what?
I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
Her legal strategy may reveal more than her words ever could. Insiders whisper that she has already begun restructuring holdings under Parkwood Entertainment, insulating revenue streams that Jay's can't touch. This is true. It would be a bold move, one that screams self-preservation. In the world of billion-dollar empires, paper trails speak louder than marriage vows. A separation of finances often precedes a separation of lives, and the gossip mill is already buzzing about whether Beyonce is quietly setting the stage for the most shocking divorce in modern music history. Imagine the headlines. The Queen of R&B walking away, not for love lost, but for legacy saved. What makes this moment so gripping is the double life Beyonce is rumored to have lived for years. Publicly, she has projected a serene, almost untouchable image. Never messy, never scandalous, always polished. Yet behind the curtain, she's been the fixer, the strategist, the one cleaning up the chaos left by her husband's indiscretions. We have seen glimpses of it in her music. Hints of fury and betrayal laced into lyrics, but she never allowed the full storm to spill into interviews or press conferences. Now, though, this ruling drags her into the open. If half her fortune is suddenly vulnerable, Shakanet remains silent. Does she break her silence with fire, taking control of the narrative, or does she retreat further into mystery, leaving us all to guess?
Beyonce.
Gorgeous, a stab to my self-esteem.
It is cruel to walk this emotional tightrope. Beyonce is the wife on one side, the mother, the woman who was caught off guard by information that could make anyone feel ashamed. Conversely, she is a corporation in herself, a worldwide brand with financial repercussions for every action. It has fans wondering, is she aware of these unspoken allegations and deciding to ignore them? Or is she just as caught off guard as the rest of us? If she was aware, her choice to remain begs the question of what loyalty costs. The betrayal would have been considerably more painful if she hadn't, and her tears are those of a woman was compelled to face her marriage as a trap for business.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
Jay-Z's well-cultivated image is crumbling in the meantime. He has presented himself for years as the quintessential hustler who transforms street smarts into boardroom power. The father who provided his kids with a better life than he had. Beside Beyonce, he stood as evidence that he had moved past his history. However, this decision dispels the fallacy. We see a man surrounded by ghosts from the 1990s that won't be quieted, rather than a mogul in complete control. And what prevents others from doing the same once Rymir has prevailed? Does this precedent give Latasha Murr the confidence to come forward again? Would additional names come to light? Jay-Z's inner circle has put in a lot of effort to remain silent. It has a vicious knock-on effect. Business associates despise the foundation of Jay-Z's enterprise. Brands, luxury labels, sports agencies, and streaming businesses don't want to get involved in public family drama or unpleasant lawsuits. Rumor has it that some partners are already halting talks to see if his enterprise weathers the storm. Without stability, a mogul isn't really a mogul. Within a few years, the Carter empire might be razed to ashes if litigation continues to pile up and payouts deplete resources. Consider the irony. Following decades of enduring conflicts, legal actions, and even criminal accusations in perhaps bloodline real or suspected is what ultimately brings him down in his early career. One cannot be envious of Beyonce's position in this pandemonium. She is quite private. However, she can lose that privilege as a result of the incident. As soon as if one half of a couple is forced to reveal their fortunes, the other cannot. Continue to remain silent. She might be compelled to appear in court. She had been avoiding for years. Everything she says will be closely examined. Silence is always regarded as involvement or guilt. Does she put herself in danger by standing up for him? Or does she take a stand, a queen taking back her throne by herself?
That you're a big fan of Beyonce.
Beyonce's single quotes as quiet has been one of her most effective strategies for years. She hasn't discussed personal difficulties in public very often, in contrast to many of her friends, preferring to instead let her art speak for itself. She exudes control and a sense that nothing could upset her poise because of her restraint. As rumors circulated regarding Jay-Z's adultery, she refrained from giving lengthy interviews or statements. Rather, she released Lemonade, an album that became a whisper. From humiliation to cultural success. It demonstrated how silence, combined with a skillfully written narrative, might be more destructive than any kind of media gathering. But things feel different now. A decision in court that might deplete half of her family's using beautiful lyrics or nuanced symbolism alone won't solve the problem of fortune. It can be found in her bank accounts, businesses, and the inheritance of children. If she decides to remain silent again, she runs the risk of appearing helpless and caught up in a story she did not write. There are now major doubts about whether she will need to confront the tempest head-on, or if her previous approach of letting the music speak will be enough.
What's up, what's up? This is Beyonce on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here, Miss Aaliyah. How you doing, girl?
It's so good to see you.
There are exciting options for her response. According to some insiders, she might start a documentary that reveals her side of the tale and pulls back the veil on a marriage that the public has mythologized for a long time. A project like this might change her perception, turning her from a helpless victim of her husband's errors to a survivor. Others envision her directing the transforming sadness into fresh music, something unvarnished and unadulterated that might even surpass Lemonade's effect. A well-timed publication could change people's lives. Destruction into yet another pivotal point in one's career. The stakes are really high. Beyonce has consistently struck a balance between being an untouchable icon and a relatable woman. But she might have an advantage if she leaned into vulnerability. Authenticity is highly sought after by the people. Additionally, at a time when her decision to speak could revitalize her career in ways she could never have imagined, since transparency is what fuels cultural relevance. The scandal that might destroy her could instead happen if she takes advantage of the opportunity. Become the catalyst that solidifies her as more than just a performer, an unstoppable force that transforms even treachery into motivation.
I can only say as a father that I hope I instilled with them the values that they would want to look for in a man. And I think I did when Beyonce wrote on her, I think it was her first album, maybe it was the second one, the song Daddy, that she hoped that she found someone just like her dad.
The risk, of course, is just as high. She might be able to open doors she has kept closed for decades by stepping into the spotlight of confession. Every disclosure is subject to examination, and every omission will be examined. However, history demonstrates that Beyonce flourishes in high-stakes reimaginings, whether in the form of a surprise revelation, music, or film. She has the power to reinterpret stories that previously appeared unsolvable. The only issue that remains is whether she will break her silence to reclaim her tale on terms or use it as a shield once more. This is the reason why fans are tense, life art, and business partners. The Carters have long served as a model for contemporary celebrity power. However, power relationships may not endure long, and their flaws are apparent. There may be more to what we are seeing than a simple controversy. It might be the fall of a dynasty. And when the appearance of perfection is broken in dynasties, everything comes falling to the ground. Thus, we are left gazing at a destroyed empire, a besieged marriage, and a woman torn between loyalty and survival. Now, the only question is whether Beyonce would sever ties to protect her throne or risk her future to try to save a kingdom that might already be lost. Share your thoughts with us. Is the Carter administration coming to an end? Next time, they don't want us to watch. Continue to ask questions and remain prepared for the truth. To observe,